That's my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. I call, that's a piece of wonder now. Frau Pandolf's hands worked busily a day, and there she stands. Will't please you sit and look at her? I said Frau Pandolf by design, but for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance, but to myself they turned, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you, but I. It seemed as they would ask me, if they durst, how such a glance came there. So not the first are you to turn and ask thus. Sir, 'twas not her husband's presence only, called that spot of joy into the Duchess' cheek. Perhaps Frau Pandolf chanced to say, her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much, or paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half-flush that dies along her throat. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. Sir, 'twas all one, my favour at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the bought of cherries some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mule she rode with around the terrace, all and each would draw from her alike the approving speech, or blush at least. She thanked men, good, but thanked somehow, I know not how, as if she ranked my gift of a 900-year-old name with anybody's gift. Who'd stoop to blame this sort of trifling, even had you skilled in speech, which I have not, to make your will quite clear to such in one, and say, just this, or that in you disgusts me. Here you miss, or there exceed the mark, and if she let herself be lessoned so, nor plainly set her wits to yours, forsooth, and made excuse, e'en then would be some stooping. And I choose never to stoop. Oh, sir, she smiled, no doubt, whenever I passed her, but who passed without much the same smile? This grew, I gave commands, then all smiles stopped together. There she stands as if alive. Will't please you rise? We'll meet the company below then. I repeat the count, your master's known munificence is ample warrant that no just pretense of mine for dower will be disallowed. Though his fair daughter herself, as I have vowed at starting, is my object. Nay, we'll go together down, sir. Notice Neptune, though, taming a seahorse, thought a rarity, which Claus of Innsbruck casts in bronze for me.
So we're going to be going over the poem My Last Duchess by Robert Browning. Now, the speaker is the Duke of Ferrara, which is shown by the first line, that's my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. So he's talking about his last wife, the Duchess, so he is the Duke. The occasion is he's walking through his art gallery. This is shown by the two lines, which Claus of Innsbruck cast in bronze for me, and oh, sir, she smiled no doubt whene'er I passed her. So he's passing the painting, and he also has other works of art around there, which means he's probably in some sort of large house or mansion, which has numerous pieces of famous artworks. Now, the audience doesn't have a particular audience in mind. It's just towards anyone. There's no specific intended audience. But the purpose is to portray the Duke of Ferrara kind of condescendingly. He's very condescending and hypocritical in the poem, especially shown by the line, she thanked men, good, but thanked somehow, I know not how, as if he ranked my gift of 900 years old name with anybody's gift. Who'd stoop to blame this sort of trifling? So he's blaming it, but he's also blaming others who blame it. He's not really following his own words and advice very well. The subject is the painting of the Duke's dead wife, this painting of his last Duchess. And their emotional issues that stuck with them through their marriage continue on past her death with the painting. He was always upset that she smiled and ranked men and was seemingly flirtatious, and he sees that in the painting of her as well, and takes issue with that. Now, the tone is kind of condescending and jealous. Phrases such as "too easily impressed," and others show that kind of jealousy within the Duke. And he doesn't like how the Duchess and her painting treat everyone the same. He feels like people should be treated differently depending on who they are, and the Duchess is very impersonal, and he doesn't like this at all.